Okay, let's see. I need more light. Okay. Once again, I have technical difficulties. I'll be right back. I'll check. It's a good thing I have my IT support. Hi, Felice. Still trying to organize here. I was aiming for a midnight, but as I said, some technical difficulties. And here we are in another day. I want to do today what I've told you last time. I want to show you how I go from a photo to a drawing to a template to a drawing and to other stuff. I'll wait for other people to come in and we'll see. I forgot to connect my phone. Okay, let's hope for the best. Something is weird is going on here. I don't see the chat. For a second I saw it and then no. זה לא זז, כבר נכנסו עוד תגובות ויש רק את זה. משהו פה לא בסדר. Talking to my younger son. He's my IT support. Okay. And I've got the chat. Hi Mary, hi Valerie, Kim, Natalie. I kept making more pages in the calendars that I've showed you in the last lives. Haven't finished yet, not all of them. When I finish, I will go with you. And I thought I made a dent in all my stashes, but it doesn't seem so. Even after doing like 4 or 5 calendars, still got lots of painty papers and focal points and whatever. So I need to be to use more. Hi, Linda. Safe flight. I'm watching the chat and just waiting to see that some people are coming in and so I can start. And it's really late here. Hi, Lynn. Okay, so I'll start talking about what I'm going to do today, and then we'll see. So what I want to show you is how I go about take a from a photo, and sometimes I will take something from all kinds of free printable websites. Sometimes I will take a photo outside of something that interests me, and then I will start from there. And let's see. And once I have something like that, I don't throw it after I'm doing a drawing or whatever the other things that I do. I will just fussy cut it and use it in an art journal page. I just can't bring myself to throw paper. So I've printed these two examples. Just this one, I'm going to do all of it. This is just so I can show you some things. Here are the templates of things that I've done in the past. I believe you saw me use the crane in an art journal page, and I've got all kinds. I'm always working on tracing paper. I will explain why. And here is another example. And it all started just with photos. So sometimes as I said, I take something from free printable websites, and I do play with measurements. And if you have something like Photoshop, then it's easier. If not, then you have to just play with a photocopy machine, just decreasing or the percentage of scanning or printing. I don't know what to call it. So that's the start, a photo, and then comes this, and afterwards a lot of times I will just print this either or sometimes on white paper, sometimes on dictionary paper because I really like it. Here are some samples. Here we go. So that's basically what I'm doing. And I'm going to move this aside. I want to show you just two more things before we start. And I will also check what is going on in the chat. Let's see. I think I've got two things like this that I've framed. I just don't remember where I put them. Maybe later I will find them and show you. Now it's bugging me that I don't remember where it is. I've got lots of stuff here and not enough room. Okay, so I don't know where it is right now. Never mind. I wanted to show you the colored version. I had one for this and one for this that I printed on dictionary paper, then colored and framed it. Don't remember where where it is. Maybe later I will remember. Okay, so I'm checking the chat, and let's see. Hola, Trini. Okay. So, first of all, tracing paper. Why tracing paper? Because it's easier to see what's going on underneath. And also it's easier if you want to do all kinds of, I will call it layering, and I will explain as we go. I'm going to take one page. And if you have a I don't know what to call it, a light screen or light board, then it's even easier. Sometimes when there is sunshine, you can put it just against a windshield and then it's visible. But most of the time, because I'm using tracing paper and it's translucent, then that's enough. I just got this recently, so all I've done up till now was without it. So you can do it without a light board or light screen, whatever it's called. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the bird, and I've printed it quite large just so I can show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll go and do this, which was my aim from the first place. So I'm starting with a regular pencil like an HB, and mostly I will just go and start with the general shape of the bird. Now, if you are it doesn't matter if you are taking a photo or you're downloading from some kind of website, it's better if it's with white background or there is some a contrast between what you want to do and the background. If the background is busy, it's a lot harder to do it. Sometimes because I have Photoshop, I will just eliminate the background. That's what I've done here. There were all kinds of greens and very faded in the background, and it was distracting. So I just eliminated it in Photoshop. It also saves me on the ink in the printer. So I'm starting with a general shape, and I'm also no matter what I'm doing, I'm thinking what I want to do in terms of, do I want every detail of the bird? Do I want all this plumage, I think? Yeah. I'm sorry, it's late for me. And so I need to think what I want to pick out of the bird, what I don't want to. And I just start with the general shape, as I said. But like, why do I that's it, I'm broken. There is an eye here. I don't know if you can see it. It's black and the plumage here is quite dark. So I need to decide how I'm doing it. How do I make the eye and still see? So you need to decide what details you are showing, which details you don't. Like here, there was probably an eye, but I decided to go and just do the plumage. That's just one example. So you decide what works for you. Shading and little details come at last. Right now, it's the general shape. If you've seen the last live, I've showed you a very somewhat simple assignment that I had when I was in the university. One of the first that we've got, which was doing classical drawing of a flower and then turning it to a graphic shape. And basically, it's stripping whatever, all the details that were on the flower and just going with clean lines, clean lines. So it's a really good exercise to do it. Of course, when I had to do it in the university, I thought it was dumb and boring. but it's not. It's a good practice because it's part of what I do now a lot of the time, especially when I want to do a stencil. Okay, so this is the general shape of the bird. I'm just taking it out, okay? So you can see, maybe I will, here, that's the general shape. So it's nice, but it's kind of boring. So now it's time for the details. So I'm placing it back, and first I pick the details that are interesting to me, like when I started here. I really like the plumage, this fluffy, I think it's a bluebird, but not sure. And I've switched to a permanent marker. I really like to work with it. Once I have the general shape, I'm more confident in where it's going, so I switch to the permanent marker. I can also continue doing all kinds of details with the pencil, and later on go over it with the permanent marker. It's really up to you and what you feel more comfortable with. And like this, and sometimes I will even lift it and see if there is something that I want more to pick from. And sometimes I will just use my I don't know, imagination, if that's the right word, and just continue. So here we go. And again, here is the eye, and I can still go and make some lines that will show how the plumage is going, or I can leave it be. It really depends on you, what you feel the details should be. Next thing, after I'm deciding on the details, I will do some darkened areas. Basically, it's where shadow is, and it's mostly under all kinds of shapes. So this bird will have some darkening here, and you can also see it in the original photo underneath the wing. I'm just doing it quickly right now. Now I've picked another pencil. This is 6B. It's darker and it's softer. The graphite is darker and it's softer because now I can take this thing that I always forget the name. No matter how many times people told me what's the name, I forget. I'm sorry. And I'm just smearing it. Of course, I can also smear with my finger. This will be just a little bit more easier. And if I don't want to use a pencil and I'm already at the stage of the permanent marker, there is also a way to go about it. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just doing the wing here so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I want this area shaded, and this is a permanent marker, I will just take a alcohol 70% or a isopropyl, however it's called where you're at. I will take this with a Q-tip or a brush, a fine brush, taking a little bit and smearing it and creating the shadow. I can also go here and make the shadow. I'm moving it to the white so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so right now all this area got shaded. Okay, so really simple. And of course, if it's just the first time that you're doing something like this, just practice on one simple shape. I don't know what to call it. So I'm taking this aside because that's what I wanted to do today. And let's check what's going on in the chat. Hi, Brenda, Kim, Mary, let's see. Talking about the snow. No snow for me. Okay, and of course all these things that I do on this tracing paper, I'm always keeping. I have this big folder. I'll bring it so you can see. Templates. All the templates are here. And it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a design for a stencil. This one is a stencil. This was one of the videos I've done. It was a design to go on a canvas. I can even reach it so you can see. I always keep a template. Here is, that's this. I hope you can see. So always keep your templates. Best tip I can give you. A stencil, all kinds of stuff that I'm playing. This was also an art journal page we've done together, and I showed you how easy it is to do. All kinds, even small stuff that I make, I keep. I just keep it, and I'm always coming back and using everything again and again. So just, as you can see, all kinds of stuff. Now it's not organized because, as you can see, here is again the same thing. But maybe someday I will organize it. It's good enough that I kept everything in one place. Okay, so we've got this, and I think that I will just put some masking tape because it's moving and I need to concentrate, and as I said, a very late hour for me. Okay, let's hope this is good enough. So I'm starting, as I said, just with a pencil, and I'm picking what I want. I already think that maybe I won't do this flower. Right now I'm just tracing what I see, and later on I can work on it. I'm not even concerned that it's really precise. Don't really care. Because it's going to be a drawing, I like it very loose. And as I said, it's not, I'm not trying to make an exact thing. It's even better when it's a little bit different and it looks more like your thing and not a photo. That's the best explanation that I can give. Because if you only wanted something precise, then you don't need to to go about all this process. You can just take the photo, fussy cut it, and here you go. You see, I'm quite quick about it, just picking up the shapes. And sometimes if I'm not sure, I can just lift it and watch what is going on underneath. It's a lot of pink here, so it's a little bit difficult to see what's going on. I think I'll just switch to the permanent marker. It's quite easy, this shape, so nothing too complicated, so I'll just move on. Basically, even if I'm mistaken with the shape, as long as I like it, it can stay. And if I don't like it, even with the permanent marker, I told you, just use the alcohol and rub it off. It's not only to make some shade in places that it's needed. Yeah, I've gone quiet and almost. Let's do this. I think I will do the branch a complete black. So there won't be this in the center. I will show you in a minute what I'm talking about. almost. Let's see. Yeah, I like it, and I don't need this flower. I think I'll leave it as is. Yeah. So now I want to make some shade in several places. I think that I will use just a pencil instead of the permanent marker. It's a little bit more blended look. So that's one way to go about it. I'm just picking the darker areas that I see. There is another way, and it depends on what you want to accomplish in terms of what kind of drawing. I could have gone with, let's see, sometimes there is another way to go about shading. It doesn't have to be a smudged look. It can also be lots and lots of lines, and depending on what you're doing, they also can be crisscrossed. And let's see, I'll show you an example. Let's see here, like in this, I could have just smudged this area, or I could just make all kinds of lines that go with the shape, and it's really up to you what you like, and to experiment and see what you like better. That's the only thing I can say about it. And here I have a leaf that is all of it is dark, but I decided that I want to shade only the bottom here and a little bit here. Again, up to you. I just know what I like, and that's it. And I can also change it. I can do something like that, and at the end lift the page and decide that something is missing or something needs more shading or more detail, and I can change it. And another thing that is good with the here I go again with the tracing paper is that I can always go put another sheet on top of it, use what I already have, and do something to change it. I can decide now that I want to make this into a stencil. And in stencil, if you've seen other videos I've done about making stencils, you just disconnect the shapes. So here everything is connected, and it doesn't matter where you start. I can decide that I'm starting here. I will no, I will do it with this so you can see. I will do this leaf, and I will disconnect it from this stem. And here is another leaf. And even when I go and do the flower, I will start with one shape. I can do it as is. And then I will move my page a little bit and do the other shape. I can also decide to just go smaller in the shape or move it, as long as I'm keeping the shapes but disconnecting them. Here we go. And we already have the start of a stencil. Now the stem needs to be, it's better to break it to, again, to shapes, otherwise it's really difficult to work with the stencil. So I'm breaking it to pieces that are manageable. And here it's very, very narrow, so I need to think, how do I want to proceed in terms of cutting the stencil. And I just change it. I've put here another the leaf closer, and as I go and put it on the acetate, then I will see how I like it and if I can cut it. It's also a matter of practice. Not all my stencils were great at the beginning. It took a lot of practice and seeing what works for me and what doesn't. I'm doing it quite quickly just so you can see how fast it is, and as long as you are not without offending anyone, as long as you are not OCD, then you can do it quite quickly, and it's really a good practice in general to see things in shapes. Okay. I keep moving the page because it's easier to create a stencil like this. So this is just the beginning, but I've done most of it. And again, I can change. I can decide that like this shape needs to be more like this, and change as I go. But that's the beginning of a stencil. So from a photo to a stencil. And of course, if something is really I really like, then I can also translate this to a stamp. I will just copy the shapes into cutouts from craft foam, and you have a stamp. If I feel that this flower is really nice and I want to have a stamp of it, then I will just copy the shapes to craft foam and you will have a stamp. So here we go. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yes, pink, my favorite color. Not. Good morning, Australia. Each time I reorganize my craft room, my craft space, I can't find anything. Ireland, France. Okay, so here I just need to make more areas with a shadow. It doesn't even have to be a shadow, it just adding details, like your flower is not entirely solid same pink, so you need to take this into account. Again, the same thing about the leaves, and you are basically translating it to shades of gray. That's the best explanation I can give. You can also, if you are really into Photoshop, then there are all kinds of filters that will just do the job for you. There is a filter that is called, I think it's a stamp. It's called a stamp, and by playing with the parameters of shadowing and white and black, you can basically create the same thing. And of course, you can just make it into a grayscale, which is another thing that Photoshop has. But what I'm trying to do here, that's why I'm not doing it with Photoshop. What I'm trying to do is give it more of a drawing look that I made. My lines, each one, even if each one will take the same photo, it will never look the same. That's what's great about it, that you're making your own thing. Sometimes the oil that we have on our skin is better at smearing. And of course, I don't go and shade each and every pink that I have here. I make the decision where I want it and where I don't. So again, for each one, it will look different. Let's see. Just putting down some more. I don't know. I know there isn't a darker shade here, but I want to put some here. Can't explain it. Of course, when this is finished, then it will go. First of all, I've got a scanner, so I will scan it. I will save it to the computer. And then, as I showed you, I will print it on white. I will print it on a thicker paper if I can. Then just printer paper. I will print it on a dictionary page. I can also play with it in matter of size. So I will have embellishments. It doesn't have to be a focal point if I'm making it this size, or I can make, depending on the size, I can make a postcard. I can make it into a little embellishment that I can use in other projects. So sky is the limit for this thing. And as you can see, it's quite easy. And don't be afraid of doing something like this. It's just tracing paper. Basically, it's just paper. It's just paper. Experiment, do something. Have fun. And it doesn't have to be perfect on the first time. I've got so many stuff that didn't come out good, not on the first time and not on the third time. And I've got canvases that I've done like, I think 10 times until I was satisfied with what was going on. Let's see if I like it. Let's put it on white. Yes, I like it. But here I can see I need more shadowing here. You can play with what you've got until you are satisfied with the result. So here it is. Let's bring it a little bit closer. I don't have a good lightning here. That was part of the technical difficulties in starting the live stream. What can I say? Okay, so this is it. Now of course, the minute I have it on white, I can also color it. And I think I know where the seahorse and the magnolia went. And I'm gonna try to reach it so you can see just some examples of the finished product, if you can call it like that. Let's see. Oh my God, this is heavy. Oh, I haven't planned on it. Oh, oh dear Lord. I've got a whole plastic basket with all kinds of stuff I've done and put in a frame, and it's heavy. So that's what I just bought, and I can't even put it under the camera. It won't fit. And I'm just going over and trying to locate the seahorse and the magnolia branch, and I still can't find it. Oh my God. Okay, just so you won't get bored, just one thing that I've done. If I already brought it down, all kinds of stuff. It's really heavy. Some of this stuff has video, like this one. This was a long time ago. Let's see. If there is anything more interesting here. Most of it from so long time ago, I forgot I've done it. Okay, so back into the plastic bin. Really disappointed that I couldn't find the seahorse and the magnolia. They were printed on a dictionary paper. I've colored them, and they were quite nice, if I can say so. Okay, now if you want to color with things that are wet, it's better that you will print it on something a little bit thicker than printer paper. And if you are just going to color it with things like pencils, coloring pencils, then, or what else? I believe you can also use acrylics, but don't add too much water. So again, if you just have printer paper, or if you even on dictionary paper, just be careful with watercolors. and it's just maddening that I can't find it. I really wanted to show it to you. Where did I put it? I even remember how the frame looked. So, no. Still can't find it. Oh, here it is, I think. Wait. Here it is. Found it. Here is the seahorse. And here is the magnolia. And I think I colored the magnolia with watercolors. I was just, again, careful with the amount of water that I used, and I think I used some not the Inktense coloring pencils here, I think, and just added, I don't know why, but I added, and I don't know if you can see it, dots with white with just some kind of a marker. That's it. So I believe I had something else with, no, the crane I used only in art journal pages, but you've seen it. If you are watching my videos, then you've probably seen it at least twice in art journal pages. Okay, so that's back where it came. And let's see what's going on in the chat. I've got at least 3 or 4 videos about how to make stencils, even in the main page of my channel. Oh, that reminds me, a lot of people are asking about notification. If you are a subscriber, if you subscribe, it doesn't, it's not enough. There is a bell icon, and you need to click on it, and there are several options. If you are not, only if you click on all, then you get notification on all the videos, if it's live or if it's the regular ones. If you are not clicking on the bell and picking something from there, then it's a problem with YouTube. Blending tool, okay. Stamp. Thank you, Jennifer. When you use no, the acetone is not a special product. You can use nail polish remover. If you are talking about the video that I've done with magazine pages, it depends. Each country has, especially on acetone and nail polish remover, there is, in each country there are all kinds of regulation about those chemicals. So you just need to see what works on your magazine, and not all magazines react the same. And no, I don't have it. Each person, I think, that seen that video, which is like, I think 3 years ago, told me about Citrusolve. We don't have Citrusolve here, and I can't even order it. You can't import chemicals, and it is a chemical. So we don't have Citrusolve. I do have National Geographic. I love National Geographic since I was a kid, and I didn't know a word in English. I only looked at the pictures. but we don't have citrus solve, and I tried all kinds of stuff on the National Geographic. I even have ones from the 70s, and it doesn't work like citrus solve. So let's see what else. Okay, so if you want to see anything else, or if you have questions, that's the time before I'm well, I already turned into a pumpkin, but today I'm also a Humpty Dumpty that fell off the wall. All my joints are aching, and not to alarm you, everything is okay. There is just days that I'm not quite myself. So I think this is it for today. I don't have a way to photocopy right now this and continue with the process, but I think I gave you all the tips and how to start from a photo and just go and do something like a drawing, a very simple drawing, a stencil, a stamp, whatever you want to do with it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is it for today, tomorrow, whatever. It's 1 a.m. p.m. It's after midnight. My brain stopped working. So I will say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. It's really nice to do something and know that there is someone on the other end and I'm not talking to myself. So bye for now. Thank you.